Hello, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello. We're going to give it about a couple of seconds and let some people join on. We are here today to go over passive income, multiple streams of income, and government contracts. So, we're just going to give it, and while you guys are joining on, make sure you say hello if you are watching the replay, because we're going to keep this up.
Absolutely.
If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type replay. So I see people joining. If you are joining live, make sure you say hello so that we can see you guys. There's Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim. This is Mona.
Monet, that's my sissy.
Oh, okay.
Mercedes. She is like the bomb hairstylist. I was just talking to her about doing some master classes.
It's like, do my hair.
Amber. So it's about to start. Just we got 12 people so far. So ladies, once you join in, just make sure to say hello. There is a poll. I don't know if you can see it. That was a new feature with going live. I don't know if you can see the poll. But if you can, go ahead and reply to the poll. So, and while you're here, go ahead and type your questions. And if you are watching the replay and you still have questions, but you're not on live, you can go ahead and post your questions because we will still see them and we will reply to them as we see them.
Absolutely.
So we can get started. You want to start with your question?
Yeah. So if you don't know who I am by now, my name is Michelle Lenore, and I help small businesses get government certified so they can bid on $1 million contracts, take those same certifications, leverage LinkedIn so they can get $1 million contracts from the corporate space also. And so one of the main questions I get is, and it's in the poll, does my business qualify for government contracts? And the answer is yes. Yes, of course.
Any business that you guys have, it does not matter. But I know a lot of us do beauty, whether it's hair, nails, makeup, what is it, esthetician?
Yeah.
Even things like moving companies, cleaning companies, daycares. I have a lot of Milwaukee people here, PNCC program. Any company you can think of. We saw one. We talked about this one before. Shoe shining. There's a shoe shining contract out there.
Mattresses, moving,
anything.
And so you may think like, well, wait a minute. I'm just a beautician. There is no such thing. I am just, okay? So some of you guys who are a part of this network just came back from Faith Figures conference. And I want you to think about everything it took to really pull that off. There were makeup artists. I got my face done. And if you guys know Brianna Davison, she was doing folks' hair. So again, now we're talking about the beauty space. That happens within the government space also. There are a lot of captains and colonels and things that come to different events. They don't have time to do their makeup, or they don't know how to. So there are opportunities for you to go ahead and bid on those events. So you like, Michelle, well, how do I do that? Collaboration and partnership. So if I have any event planners that are on this live, guess what do you guys need? Catering. Sometimes depending on if it's a high-level officer, security. You need a place to stay. They have contracts for, believe it or not, Airbnbs. They have contracts, again, like I said, security, catering, daycare. A lot of these officers are bringing their wives or their husbands, and they're also bringing the children. So you do have to have a certain qualification. Of course, when it comes to daycare, if anyone is taking care of any children, but I don't think you can have a daycare and have a felony. I could be wrong, but things like that.
Legally, you can't.
It's like...
And also, I just want to point out too, in the beauty space, I have a friend who does a lot of passive income now. She created a lot of passive income, which I'm gonna get into, like, what does that look like? And she retired herself as a beautician. She does not do hair anymore. Her focus now is coaching and teaching, and she has master classes and she has products, and she makes millions a year in beauty without even being behind the chair anymore. So there is money. So I am just, whatever it is, let's take out that word just.
Yeah.
I am a beautician, and you could put in there, I am $1 million beautician, or, you know, whatever your goals are. There's no just. Whatever you do, we're going to build it and get you to your financial goals.
And see, I love that you said that she's doing that. I call that the corporate space. You know, but you may say that's outside of government. She can take that same program, go into the women's prisons,
Yeah.
and she can teach that program. There's opportunity for that. She can take a part of that program, go into high schools and teach that program. And this is, you know, sometimes when we think of government contracts, we're thinking about the federal government. I'm talking about the local government. Okay, so your school system, that is a government entity. Your county, that is a government entity, okay? And you could take it into the public. So I'm talking about public since I'm talking about government. You could take those same programs and submit it to the schools, and you can build on that. So maybe you don't want a large government contract, but you love the schools, you love the youth. You present that certification, you present your program, you're presenting this to the government, and they need you, because in those contracts, it states that a certain percentage has to be covered by a minority certified business. So like you said, it's not just, it's like we need you.
So while you guys are here, if you can type in the comments, what industry are you in? What is your business? Do you do daycare, hair, nails? And I say hair and nails a lot because that's when I did PPP, I had a lot of beauticians coming to do that. But what industry are you guys in? Do you do coaching? Do you do cleaning service? So somebody said transportation, provide supervision. I'm like, I should have put my
Kids in foster
glasses
care
on.
where I'm having difficulty with getting clients. All of that transportation. So I'm about to jump on my soapbox about transportation. Transportation is huge. When I say they are looking for you. Now, you know, when I talk about government certifications, anybody, everybody, government contracts, everybody. But right now, there is a huge push for minority-owned businesses to get certified in the transportation, construction, and IT space. So if you're in transportation, you have your MC number, you got your DOT number, you got all of your numbers in place, you got your insurances in place, you have all that in place, and you are business minded. Now I have to say that because unfortunately some of my folks have been disappointing the government because they're not business ready. You got to be business ready, you know, and that's why we have this program. They're looking for you. And when I say this guy, black man, transportation, certified, he didn't even have a time to submit his information to say, oh yeah, I'm DBE minority certified. He got $1 million contract because they were looking for him. They're looking for that you're put on this database. And this database is a free database once you're certified.
And they send you emails.
Right. They look you up. See, Maria knows. Maria is certified. Thank you, sweetie. I was just talking to my daughter. We're just trying to get more light in here. They're looking for you. They're at the IT. They're looking for you guys. So when you're like, oh yeah, you know, I just drive and I just do this. There is so much more. They have these millions and millions of dollars, and it's running out because if they don't use that money, they lose it.
I just want to add, we do go over marketing and, you know, getting clientele. That's important. But the best part about government contracts, it takes the pressure off of having to find clients because now the government is your client, right? So you still might want to get into your community. You might want to go and, you know, get clientele there. But if you find $1 million contract from the government, the pressure is off of having to have marketing on a bus, in magazines, commercials.
Absolutely.
You don't have to do all that because you have this $1 million contract from the government and you're working still doing your business. So that's why Michelle says a lot. The government is the number one client. Is it the world?
In the world.
Yeah.
In the world. And it doesn't matter. Again, I want y'all to just really think of, what do you need in your household? That is just the government. The government is the largest household in the world. They have millions and millions of people that they have to provide services and products to. I saw someone, they had marital counseling. They need that.
Yep.
You know, sometimes they need to talk with a group that is outside of just military. You know, it's not all, sometimes with that military mind, we like, push through it. But, you know, they need that flexibility, and it's not enough. So never think like, oh yeah, well, there's 500 coaches. No, they don't have what you have to offer. Absolutely. So, and it's like what somebody said, plus I'm married to a veteran. I'm gonna tell you what, if you are not VOSB, veteran owned small business, guys, y'all are missing out on money. Now, my late husband, he was a veteran, and he talked about all the wrongs and rights of being in the Army. Okay, so we bypassed that. But once you become a veteran and you get that VOSB or VBE, okay, Veteran Enterprise Business, when you get that certification, there are so many contracts out there that only you guys can get. I can't get it.
Well, we got London in the house. We're going to talk about that in a second. Stay here, London. Stay here.
So it's like, so when I say that, I begin to partner up. Like my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's about to leave out of the military next year. Guess what I'm pushing for? I'm pushing for her to get that VOSB, y'all. We're partnering, we're collaborating. So she takes my experience and I take her certification, and we work together. And guess what? We're going all the way to the moon. Who's going with us?
So, as we just stated, in summary, yes, whatever business, and we just saw a lot of businesses scroll up. I actually just saw a government contract for domestic violence. So I know I saw a nonprofit, and I think the person who put nonprofit, I know she does DV. There's contracts out there too for not nonprofit, but you know, because you can't.
Yes. So for a nonprofit,
certifications,
you got to do the grant. So you have to be a for-profit for the certifications that I'm talking about. But there are grants out there for domestic violence.
Right. So the domestic violence contract, you have to be a for-profit to bid on it. But if that is your space, there are government contracts for things like that. Community programs, wraparound programs, dealing with Medicaid, dealing with insurance, like all of that is out there. So you're going to look into it today. Yes. Counselors, all of that. So that is a huge part of our mentorship that we have. Now, the other part of it, you guys hear me talk about passive income a lot and multiple streams of income a lot. And one of the questions that I get, I guess we can go back and forth with the questions. If you guys have questions, go ahead and type your questions in, because we write out some of the questions that we get asked a lot. But one question I get asked a lot is the difference of passive income and multiple streams of income. Oh, thank you. She said we look beautiful.
Oh, thank you, darling. Don't start.
Joking. But thank you. So yeah, passive income is that money that you make when you're asleep. That money that you make when you are playing with your kids, when you are at the movies watching Wakanda. If y'all ain't seen that, go watch
Forever. Don't say okay.
We're silly, I'm sorry. But so passive income is that money that it just comes into your bank account. It's like cha-ching, cha-ching, and then you don't have to do anything because of that cha-ching. Like, so if I just had a Stripe payment that said $2,400, because I do have classes, that's $2,400, I don't have to do anything with that because they're already set and they're already built and they're already like my teaching courses are already there. I don't have to do anything. Now, some people I might allow like a month or two of one-on-one coaching that comes with that, but that's just me personally. But you know, when you see ebooks, when I sell my e-planner or my ebook, I'm just getting $27 constantly without having to do anything. I'm like, well, there was $27. Oh, there go another $500 because I don't have to do anything outside of I created it once and it sells over and over and over again. So when you guys see me say that I am really starting to automate Boss Lady University, that's going to be me adding more courses that are already done that you just plug in and buy it. So that's passive income. So that's me teaching for you, whatever business that you have. you can have passive income.
Absolutely.
One of our favorite spots that we do brunch at a lot, we were sitting there just looking at the owner through the window like, man, I can help her do this.
See?
I can help her do this. And it's a brick and mortar. And you were talking about the government contracts she can have, et cetera, et cetera. So it does not matter what type of business you have. You can have passive income. And then multiple streams of income is just that, multiple streams. So you can have money that's coming in from YouTube, money that's coming in from selling courses, money that's coming in from having the ebook, money that's coming in from mentorship, money that's coming in from having an Etsy store. Whether you're selling digital products or physical products, it doesn't matter. So it's multiple streams, so that when one business or one stream dries, and having a 9-to-5 can be one of those stream of incomes, right?
Yep.
But let's say you got fired, Lord, like heaven forbid. Let's say something happens to your job. Well, you got other multiple streams coming in, so you don't feel it. For me, and actually, if you guys ever did the 3-day challenge, which I might repost, I had one of my friends come on. We talked about multiple streams of income, to where, let's just say Pretty Princess, when the pandemic hit, Pretty Princess, the location was out of commission. We could not go and do birthday parties. Kids could not come in. We could not do our events because everything was shut down. But guess what? We had another part of Pretty Princess was an Etsy store. When I tell you our income tripled in that store, because again, everybody were doing birthday parties in their house and they were buying our party supplies.
That's good.
That's another stream of income. So that when one stops, the other one was still going. So I teach about that as well. So that's one of the questions that I get a lot about multiple streams of income and passive income. So yes, passive, or your multiple streams of income can also be passive.
Absolutely. Because even when you're saying, like, I have an Etsy store that I need to update. But also, okay. And so also I have books out there on Amazon. So just like Maria, you know, I get an email that say, hey, one of your books have been sold. And it was like in one of the groups, I want to say it was in Women Doing Business God's Way, they had asked about a planner. Of course, I plugged in my planner. I was like, oh yeah, it's right here. It's located right here on Amazon. It's something that you don't have to think about. You know, it's just a great product. And people need it, so go ahead and put it out there. You know, so what? There's millions and millions of products. When I think about makeup, how many different names of makeup do you have in your makeup kit? You know, like on my sink, I don't know. I think I maybe have like 7.
But I just literally this morning said I need some kind of cabinet or cubby or something for all this makeup that I'm starting to accumulate.
So don't worry
Different
about
brands.
if people don't buy it. Somebody's going to buy what you need. So one of the questions was, can I create an LLC under the umbrella of a nonprofit? So I am not a business lawyer, but I will say no, because again, it is a nonprofit. Anything that falls underneath that nonprofit, if that is the main business, then you're mixing funds. So I would have to say I haven't come across. Again, I'm not a business lawyer. And usually all of my clients who do have nonprofits, I have several clients that have nonprofits and for-profits, and to keep it clean, even their business lawyer told them they needed a separate EIN. So again, that's what I'm going to say on that one. But again, you know, talk with a professional about that. Maybe, you know, maybe you could do it, maybe not.
Now for Cynthia, because I know Cynthia, she's actually in one of my other classes. I know that she has a PNCC program. Now, because you have that PNCC program or agency, you can add a separate division to that, because that is an LLC. That's not a nonprofit. You can add a different division to that, and be able to focus on DV and get contracts using your PNCC business.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, when it comes to that profit and nonprofit, I was always told that, again, having things separately, even sometimes your telephone number, your laptop and things, because if something goes wrong, they can't take it all.
Right.
So again, like I said, talk to the professionals. And it might be different per state and things like that. So.
And actually, Cynthia is the one that taught me about, I don't even know if you knew that, about having different computers for different businesses, because I did an in-person training and she came with like 3 computers, 3 laptops. And because she has different laptops for each business. And I'm like, here I am running all 3 on one computer, and they always run out of space. it makes sense. So, and they're all tax write-offs, right? So I see a lot of people talking about creating an ebook. What ebooks and marriage courses go under for-profit or non-profit? It could be either or. It just depends on your structure for which one you choose to do. Like my community organization in Wisconsin is for-profit, but it could be a nonprofit if I choose to set it up that way, but I didn't set it up that way. It's for-profit. And it's the difference in receiving grants versus contracts, how you document your income, all of that. I have a friend who has a daycare that's nonprofit. Now, typically daycares are for-profit. So it honestly, it depends on you and what you want to do. So,
and another trick is that if you're a nonprofit, you can hire your for-profit for a program.
Yep.
So anytime you have a program, so like in my case, I write books. And if I, resume writing, LinkedIn, y'all know I love LinkedIn, and capability statements. So if I had a nonprofit to help women who are coming out of prison, career development, I would go ahead and hire my company. Okay, so you need to have the invoice and all that other type of stuff to buy their books, to buy their program. And guess what? You can feed right into that. So that's another trick. And it's and like I said, it's very legal. A lot of companies do it.
Yeah, so in creating an ebook, because again, it's a lot of different posts about ebook, is actually one of the lessons inside of the mentorship. How to create an ebook, how to create a masterclass, and things like that. Another question, can you have more than one government contract at a time?
Absolutely.
Right, that's what
Absolutely,
yes,
positively.
Say like in a different area like transportation and in coaching.
Absolutely.
So yes, you can.
Yeah, because it's like when I spoke, and I don't know if I did a live or on it, but I know I did do a post that one of my clients, the one who got the $10 million in 10 months, and it's about to, before the end of the...
You can't just breeze past that because not everybody here was at the conference. So you got $10 million in 10 months. You got
$10 million
really
in 10 months. That is, she was able to obtain that through, she is in the logistics space, she's in the transportation space, and she's in the construction space. But she was able to leverage her consulting piece and also the physical piece of the transportation and in the construction, that she has multiple contracts at one time. Some of them are one and done. So she was able to get one contract. It was for 2 months. It was $250,000. The other contract, it's for
2 months. Yeah, $250,000. 2 months of work. 2 months of work. $250,000. So government contracts, people. Government contracts. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so with that, I talk about LinkedIn a whole lot. She put her information out there on LinkedIn, and this is where Microsoft was able to go ahead and see what she was doing. Saw that she was active. She was offered a contract for Microsoft. So now we're going from government to corporate, so when I talk about corporate, I'm talking about anything outside of the government. Again, she's leveraging the certifications. So multiple contracts at the same time, you can have it. So if for some reason you're like, oh, Michelle, within coaching, they're asking me to go ahead and coach, 15,000 employees. How do I do it? Collaboration and partnership. You already have to have folks in place who you need to collaborate with, create those relationships so you can have multiple contracts, and it's no big deal. That's what she's doing. And because she's about to reach $15 million before the year is in. I'm so excited for her. She's about to reach $15 million. And when we talk about it, it's partnerships and collaborations.
What we're doing.
Right. And she's bringing people with her who's ready. She's not saying, oh, you need to get certified. No, she's reaching out only to people who are certified for the big pieces. And then for the smaller pieces, she's letting them know you need to get certified so you can do what I'm doing. So she's not like, oh, yeah, well, I'll just keep using you. No, she has a heart for people to win. I have the heart for people to win. Maria have heart for people to win. And guess what? We're part of this program with Lola, other people who we're connected to, and you need a coach. You need a mentor. I don't care who say, what say. So you guys know that one of our coaches, mentors and friend. I can call her a friend now. Is Lola, right? And today's her birthday. Happy
Happy
birthday! And guess what? If you ever listen to her, she has several mentors and coaches.
Yes, I asked her. Yeah, she said several.
Yeah. So don't think like, oh yeah, I know everything. Absolutely not. There's no way, I don't care how long I live, that I'll know everything. I'll always seek a mentor. I'll always seek a coach because I want to continue learning.
All right, so the next question, we got a lot now, so we might not even get to our list. I would like to work on, I feel like I really should have brought my glasses. I would like to work on getting government contracts, especially on different military bases for my resume writing, veteran transition workshops.
Oh yeah, no. And they need you guys because there is one lady I know who works out in Texas. And because she's been in the military for so long, she works in the career development portion when the veteran, where you're about to be a veteran, when the military personnel is about to transition out. And her mind is still set on like, okay, you need to do this is this. They need you. And so you have to be able to present that, especially if you are a veteran. That right is the easy end. You begin to talk with your fellow brothers and sisters, like, how do I get into that? If that's not the case, then you begin to talk with associations, veteran associations, to let them know what you have to offer. And give them some samples and give them some examples. Let them know about your program and a workshop. You know, do some free workshops, like just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So wherever, if you know where your group is, if that's Instagram, do it on Instagram. If it's Facebook, do it on Facebook. But if it's LinkedIn, do it on LinkedIn or YouTube. You know, again, whatever your jam is, TikTok. You know, they need to see what you're talking about, so they'll reach out to you, because they will reach out to you. Absolutely.
So somebody specifically said, Michelle, can you repeat what you said about hiring your profit business under your nonprofit?
Yeah. So for your okay. So a couple of things. What my clients do is that they have a nonprofit, and so with that nonprofit, what they so they're helping women. So if they're helping women transition, we'll say from prison into and just into regular life, you know, I think they call that re-entry. Sometimes they call it second chances, whatever the name is. They need programs to help them with that. So I may have the program that helps with you getting clothing, you having programs, that you have someone to work on somebody's mind. So my program, even though I offer this, I may not myself have the expertise. So I need to hire people. All right. So I'm getting a grant from the government. Say like I'm getting a grant that's $100,000. Okay. So with that, I reach out to Maria and I'm like, Maria, I need you to do a segment on entrepreneurship. So now I'm paying Maria. So we'll say Maria is your LLC. You're hiring your company to help these women. So the money is circulating. Okay.
And I got actually an example too. It's also outside of nonprofit. You can have if you have multiple LLCs, your businesses can hire your businesses. My husband has a business, and so he does construction. And when I did my build out for Pretty Princess, instead of going to hire another construction company to do the build out, I hired my husband's company. And of course you got to make sure your papers are clean. You got to have your invoices. It has to be documented well. But that money stayed in the house. So I paid him. He sent me the invoice. I paid him, but it still goes back into, you know, eventually our account. And it's still a tax write-off. So when you hire your business from within, or even if you have kids and, you know, this is actually one of the tax strategies that I kind of talk about a little bit. When you become an S Corp and you hire your kids, you can have a family management business that you hire the family management business to pay your kids. Like, it's a lot. When you own a business, it's so much that you can do in the form of saving money and keeping the money inside your pockets.
Oh, absolutely. And someone asked about LinkedIn. Yes, I do courses on LinkedIn.
Dana. That's why I saw that and I laughed.
That is one of the things that we do within the group. We talk about LinkedIn and how to leverage LinkedIn. I'm going to let you guys know there are billions. I know I talk about government certifications. There are billions of dollars on LinkedIn. And just like we go to school, we get a degree, we go to school, get licensing. Again, that makes you stand out. Just think about, so we think about daycare. So I don't know if you need licensing for all daycares, even in home.
You can have you have to have like a small amount of kids. Once you get to a certain number, then you have to be either certified or licensed.
Okay,
And different
that
states
part.
have different rules.
So the higher you go up, you want to get noticed. Okay. And I purposely mentioned daycare because I saw a lot of daycare here. That, again, if you want to be looked at high level, you know I talked about government events. This is great for corporate events also. So if you have that 5-star gold standard, whatever is the highest it is for the daycares, you can leverage that on LinkedIn. Okay, you can say, okay, I watch, or my group watch, 17 different types of kids and different types of cultures, and this is what we have, Montessori, this, that, and the
education
other.
behind, we got some people with master's degree and things like that.
All of that matters, okay? And so, you can have a daycare perhaps without having a master's degree, but that master's degree makes a difference. Okay, so that's the same with the certifications. You put those certifications out there on LinkedIn. Now you're standing out. You're like, I'm a hairstylist and I'm minority certified by the government. That means the government went through all of my paperwork and said, I am a viable business. Okay, so that's one of the strategies that we do talk about on LinkedIn, on how to make yourself stick out on LinkedIn. Because like right now, I'm in conversation with billion-dollar companies about providing my services. And why do they look at me? They're like, oh, wait a minute, she's certified. She's woman-owned small business certified. She's a certified small disadvantaged business. She's this, she's black, she's that. Okay, again, this is a way to stick out even in the corporate world. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, why am I sleeping on LinkedIn? Eleonora, wake up!
Actually, she's the one that won the $25,000 at the conference.
Really?
With the toothbrushes.
Oh, girl. Okay. So
Make sure I'm saying that right. I think so. Did you do the toothbrushes right? I believe so. But okay, so yes, this will have a replay, so we're gonna keep this up. Because I did see somebody asked about that. Do you have another question?
Yeah. So the other question is, I think I said, why do I need it? Why do I need it? And again, because it helps you stand out. When you stand out, then people recognize that corporations, what happens with the large corporations is that they have a directive and bylaws within their corporations to say that 25%, 50%, whatever it is that we're doing, we have to do business with a diverse company, okay? And with that, there are some ways that you could self-certify. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a black-owned company. And so when I say this, I'm saying this, I don't care who you're married to, X, Y, and Z. So if I'm a black woman and I'm married to a white man and 50% of my business is he's an owner, 50% of the business, I'm an owner. Guess what? My business is not a black-owned business. It is not a woman-owned business. It is just a small business.
Yep.
That's it. That's all. So when we look at the percentages of the business, the government looks at that. The government is not the only one. That all these other corporations, they look at it also. So when you're certified by the government has just stated that they looked at all your paperwork. They looked at your finances, and everything states that you are a minority-owned business. This is not self-certification like, yeah, I'm a black-owned business. No, they looked at it and said, yes, she is a black-owned, woman-owned business.
And that was me before I met you, actually, because even on Google, you can certify, like you can self-certify yourself and say that you're a woman-owned business, black-owned business. And a lot of people who came to Pretty Princess came because it was like, oh, you're a black-owned business and I want to support black-owned businesses. You can self-certify, but that's not what we're talking about in the space of going to get government contracts. So it's a difference. And I remember I missed out on I don't remember if it was a grant, it was something, but they were looking for companies that had the certifications. And I was like, well, how do I do that? Because it was foreign to me before I met Michelle. So Yeah, so somebody, what's the qualifications to be certified? Do you have to be in business for a certain length of time? That's a good question.
So right now you do not have to be, but I do have to ring the bell that's saying that they are looking to change those guidelines. And they're looking to change the guidelines because it usually takes a while for the laws to change. But so I am minority certified and I have over 40 minority certifications. Okay, so let's go with that across the United States. And there was a couple of reasons why I did that. Of course, for the contracts. And the other thing was it allowed me to be in rooms and listen to conversations that I usually wouldn't have privy to if I didn't have those certifications. And right now what's happening is that with the DBE certification, with the WOSB certification, you do not have to be in business for any length of time. So you could, as long as you have all your licensing to state that, okay, you can do this particular service or have this particular product, you're good to go. They are looking to change that. They are looking to see if you can do this business, if you can get certain contracts, or when I say the corporate contracts, if you can get these type of contracts or business outside of these government certifications, this is going to cut down on a lot of people's opportunities, okay? And with these certifications, what they do, the DBE certification, it grandfathers you in for a particular, whatever state that you're in. Some of the states require for you to be in business for 2 years. The DBE certification does not require that right now. But again, like I said, they're looking to change that, to show that you're able to do what you say you are doing. And so when I looked at that, I was like, wait a minute, that's going to affect a lot of people. Because, one of my clients, she didn't have anything outside of the government contracts when she started her transportation business. She marketed herself. People reached out to her. And within 6 months, she made 6 figures, okay? She didn't have it. But the thing is, she knew how to work it. We talked, we worked through it, we strategized. It works, okay? But if that law is put into place, or that guideline, they won't call it a law. They'll just call it just a change in the guidelines. She wouldn't be able to do that. And so when I talk about get certified now, because something is coming down the line that changes opportunity for us, it's happening. And it's happening, and they're talking about it in every single state.
So another part of the question, I'll answer these two. I'll put it together. So what's the qualifications to be certified, and how long is the certification process? So the plus side of working with Michelle is, number one, different states have different rules and different guidelines and things like that. So having an answer to that is not a one size fits all, because not every state is different. So it really depends on what state you're in. And then number two, in the mentorship, she actually helps you with that. So I got my first certification in Wisconsin. Now we're in Georgia. I didn't know anything about Wisconsin. And she was like, this is the paperwork. This is what you got to do. And that's what I did. And the process for Wisconsin, what it took 2 months, a month or two. Mm-hmm. So it might not be long, but it might, again, depending on what state you're in and if they're backed up or whatever. So that's why it's important.
Well, no, it didn't take you that long, because you were waiting for a receipt or something from your landlord. Once she submitted her work.
Yeah.
That she had a call. You got interviewed within 2 to 3 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep. It was an interview within 2 weeks, and then I had to wait to be approved. So a lot of that too, the process is in the mentorship, like get a little something. So I've had my lease for my office for 7 years, and I had a lease, and it was a 2-year lease, but after 2 years, it was like an automatic renewal, right? So I did not have the lease with me. It was actually in my drawer in Wisconsin, because that's where my office is. And so how I paid my landlord every month was via PayPal to his personal name, right? And he never gave me receipts. Mm-hmm. But to me, like, I'm paying my business rent, and I didn't know about making sure that I had receipts or even getting it sent to his business account or whatever. So that is some of the things that we talk about too, is getting your business ready and making sure you're ready to do these government certifications, because there will be things that they're going to be looking for that you might not have right now because you just didn't know. So even though I was paying my rent for 7 years, every single month via PayPal, I did not have written history of that because it just showed his name and me paying this monthly payment to him. And I had to somehow go in through my email. And thank God I'm smart, because I always email contracts and stuff to myself. I was able to find the lease in my email from 7 years ago, and I was able to do it that way. So that's something that we teach in there.
Absolutely.
I think Brianna is asking about that LinkedIn training that you did with Lola. She's saying, well, is there a replay for that?
Oh, that's up to Lola. That's on her platform. And if you weren't able to pull it, I know she within the app she had that you were able to pull that information. But other than that, it's like that particular thing that I did for Lola's group. That is, if I do go ahead and get it from her group, that will be something paid. That will be that'll be part of my passive income. So
She's gonna sell it on Etsy. Can a certified company partner with a non-certified company?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good question.
So let me say this, guys. While I was in Chicago, right now, and then once it's done, so I can only speak high level. And then right now, I am partnering up with someone who will never be certified. Okay, but we're partnering up, and they are going to go in as a prime. I'm going in as a subprime. We are talking percentages. We're talking this. We're talking that, and we're talking money. Okay, so absolutely, you can, and this allows them to come in and be a part of the government, and this also gives you experience in that particular space. Okay, but you have to do something in that contract. You just can't give the contract over to them. Now, if you do that, that's fraud. So we talk about that.
We've seen some of that going on
right.
YouTube.
Like, and so we don't
want
where
you learning.
Right. So we don't want you to do that. So right there's like, if for some reason, and we'll say Lola, because you guys know Lola can never get a minority certification. She makes too much money. It is what it is. Or I should say within the government. Okay. So, but I'm speaking just about the government. So with her, if Lola brings me in, she wants to utilize my certification, I have to do a certain percentage of that work. Okay. And then that way, again, everything is up. I'm utilizing Lola and her experience. She's utilizing me and my experience and my certification, and we're both winning.
And that's why we keep talking about partnerships and leveraging partnerships. So one of the contracts that I came across, they wanted for us to have done 10,000 billing processing billing sheets. Now, with my community organization, we process insurance throughout the month. We ain't got no 10,000 a year, that's a lot. So that's where partnership will come in, so that I will also go and partner with another company that does that same type of processing of insurance, and together we might come up with that 10,000. But then again, if that company is not certified and I am certified, I would just have to make sure that my company does the majority of the work. So partnerships are super important.
Absolutely.
She said, you both are speaking. That's why I made a face. I don't know if you saw. I was like, yes, girl. But you both are speaking my language. I want to be like Tabitha Brown, retire my husband for a second time.
I know that's right. What?
Yes. You definitely missed a masterclass because she was in the hospital. I'm glad you're doing better. I met Brianna at the conference.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Once certified, is there a list of businesses that are looking to partner with another business entity?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, businesses, large million dollar companies are always looking at that free database. Anybody can go out to any database, to that free database within the state. So when I say corporate businesses are looking, one of my clients who is located in Michigan. She's also certified. So she's certified. So you first got to get certified in your home state, and then you get certified in other states. She's certified in Colorado. A billion-dollar business who is headquartered in Texas, reached out to her. They were like, okay, we have a client in Colorado. They need someone who is certified who can do X, Y, and Z. So they reached out to her. She had no idea what was the name of the business. So her and I, we were working together like, okay, let's take a look at the business. Let's do this. Again, that strategy. So that's my one-on-one type program that I have. So she has access to me at any point in time. But again, she's on the list. People are looking at your information on this free list that they want to work with you. And so even though that was them reaching out to her, we have to be proactive and we have to market ourselves. We don't get the certification and say, oh, we got the certification. Now everybody's going to start pouring things in. Remember, it's new. So you don't know when's the last time somebody looked at that list. You have to make yourself known. And this is where I talk about a lot of times with LinkedIn, because they have people data mining LinkedIn more than the databases, because those databases, depending on what state you're in, you may be on 3 different databases, okay, within one state, or you may be on one database in the state and not on the other 2. All right, so you still have to market yourself just like any other time. You have to market your business, but then again, you're getting emails from that state letting you know the different contracts that's out there. So leads are always coming in. So I hope I answered your question, because I'll get out on a tangent. And another thing.
Okay, so how much weight does the supplier gateway certification have? She got it on Amazon.
Ooh, that's nice. The supplier, it all depends who you talk to. Because I've spoken to a couple folks from Amazon about my books. And even though that's for me, that's just a small amount. That's not my biggest focus. Mine is the certifications. So that's just passive. So me personally, I don't know. Because I'm not using their program. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have met with them.
I feel like that's probably more of an internal thing outside of government, like taking that and going to the government and saying, I got this. But I don't know for sure. Because a lot of companies, like Amazon's a giant, so I can see them starting to have their own ecosystem. And yeah, so, but I know how to sell on Amazon.
This is Elnora, right?
Yeah.
Who won it? Mm-hmm. I would most definitely put that in my capability statement. Yeah, that you were one of the people who actually is a part of that program. That's huge. Now, that doesn't help you get the government certification, right? Not by any means, but that helps with corporations, though. That helps with other corporations.
I sell on Amazon. I just, they starting to have their own stuff.
Yeah. But that does help, though.
Yeah, put it on your capability statement. Okay.
And LinkedIn. Don't forget LinkedIn.
So once you are certified within the state, does that flow to the local governments like county and city level as well? Or do you have to apply separately to all levels?
That all depends on the state. I would say it does flow down like 90%. But I used to live in North Carolina, but my business is headquartered in North Carolina. So I do still working in North Carolina. And unless you live in the county Mecklenburg, where Charlotte is huge, that they do limit some of their contracts. So that's more on the local level, some of their contracts, unless you actually live in that county. I know Texas, they do the same thing. And so does Illinois, unless you live in Cook County, because there's a lot of money there. But for the most part, I would say 90% it flows down.
So I love this next question, because this next question is actually going to segue us a little bit.
Okay, cool.
I need to find out about government certification in the UK, and if I can get U.S. government cert for a financial coach as a non-citizen.
Ooh, that one's a good one. So first of all, yes, the UK, they have a robust certification process. within the UK, but is extremely beneficial. Unlike the government system in the US, it is not free unless you go in a certain way. There are certain ways to go in, and so I do teach on that, and I teach on the group. I teach on that separately because the process is different. So I get all my UK people all together, and we would go through the system. With that, now you can do things internationally through the UN. So if you partner up with me as a certified person, you're a certified person, we can do business together through the UN. So there is a lot of opportunity there. So yes, yes, and yes.
So with that question, because we will be posting very shortly, if you live in the UK,
Yep.
Canada,
Yep.
and Africa,
Yep.
or just specifically
South Africa.
South Africa, then we can help you too. You can also join the mentorship with the government contracting and still be beneficial for you because Michelle found the contracts and the opportunity, like she just said, to partner and still be able to utilize our services. So one of the questions that I get a lot is really, what is the mentorship? Like, what does it entail? Because I don't really give everything that we do, and I still won't give everything that we do. However, my portion of the mentorship, so we have two parts. I have a part, Michelle has a part, and Michelle does a government certification. My part is really building or like even starting your business if you haven't started. If you have started, making sure you have a solid foundation, because I was one of those people that kind of just started and just was winging it for so many years, was bumping my head against the wall and learned quite a bit of things the hard way. So I help you create a solid foundation and also start creating that passive income and multiple streams of income. So I just wanted to go over the list of the things that I do to help your business. And also this part helps with the government certification, which is
Absolutely.
why we partner together. Because if your business is not a business in the standpoint of being official and legal, you cannot go to the government and ask for certifications, like i.e. having your taxes done
Y'all,
with your
please file your
business
taxes.
on your taxes.
Please file your
like,
taxes.
That has to be done, and that's something that I talk about. So I go over, I have to write it down because it's a long list. So first and foremost, we go over mindset.
Absolutely.
And what's your vision and your mission for what it is you're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? And a lot of people kind of get lost in this. We forget our why, we forget our purpose, especially when times get hard. So then we focus on that in the beginning so that you have it written down, because when times get hard, because they will.
They will.
They will.
They will, y'all.
We go back to our why. And the why, I know a lot of us say our why is our kids, right? But we built the legacy for our kids, but that's not why you're doing this specific business. Because I can do anything and it be for my kids. So why are you doing this specific business? Like me working with women and helping them start businesses. Why am I doing that? So it's really so we dig into that. Then we go into.
But you know what? I'm going to say my why, and then I'm going to let you. My why is like, I help people go to their next within the career development. And career development, that can be is you're either in corporate or you have a small business. Right now for this season, my biggest why is to get as many people certified, get as many people getting government contracts and corporate contracts, because I see something coming that requires for us to build a community that will support people of color and support single moms and single dads. That some of that support is going to go away. There's always a season. And my thing is that if we're in the right season and we're gathering the information and doing what we're supposed to do, that when the hard times comes, guess what? It's not going to affect us like it's affecting others. So that's a little bit of my why.
That's a good why. And also her kids.
Always them babies.
It's more than just that. So I hope you guys pull that out. So then I talk about, we get business clarity. We talk about your audience. A lot of people are just kind of throwing something out there and not really knowing who your audience is. So we do audience clarification. We do credit 101, and not just business credit. We do personal credit because they're separate, but they go hand in hand. So if you find somebody that's teaching business credit and not talking about personal credit, you cannot go and get these business loans without having collateral from your personal. You can't have a 440 credit score or 500 credit score and then expect to go get a 10,000 credit business loan. Like, it goes hand in hand. So we talk about that. We talk about goal mapping. What are your goals? A lot of us, including me, I knew this, but it really took Lola to force it out of me. Some of our goals that we have should be 5-year goals and 10-year goals. For me, I have with FOMO, like, I gotta do it right now. I gotta do it. Like, we have so many ideas up here. Let's write them down. And then let's map them out for 5 years from now, or maybe a year from now, or 2 years from now, whatever it is. So we do goal mapping.
Hold on, but you know what? I'm sorry. Okay, y'all, forgive me.
No,
I know
you're
I'm
good.
stopping her. Well, she did mention about your credit score. I'm gonna let you guys know that I think in 2023 they're going to do a grant. Now, when I say a grant for any small business that you don't have to pay back, so depending on the state, sometimes they look at your credit score. Okay, I remember that it was one they said that if you don't have a credit score over 600, you were not okay, that knocked a lot of folks out. You were not qualified to get this. It was from $10,000 to $25,000 business grant that you did not have to pay back. And you didn't even have to be certified as a minority-owned business. You just had to be qualified as a small-owned business. So I'm letting you guys know that credit score, it talks money. It's free money. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, that's important. So I know my students right now are probably on here like, what? We didn't get into that yet, but it's coming. Credit score and credit building is coming, so don't worry. So we're going over credit, goal mapping, audience clarity, branding. Lola definitely branded, like, helped me with the branding piece. I knew about branding, but it went up a notch. And when we go up a notch, everybody with us go up a notch. Absolutely. Right? Like, because what we learn, you learn, which is why our announcement at the end will make sense. Trademarking, we're going over trademarking. If you start a business, you need to look into trademarking. If you've been in Boss Lady for some time, you hear about what happened to me with Pretty Princess. Used to be Spa Boutique. When I finally got around to going to go trademark, I could not trademark my name. Had to change my name. So we talk about how the importance of getting trademark and how to do it. And also I now have a connect for people that is not as expensive as it typically is. You know, so we go over tax strategy, and especially, y'all know I talk a lot about hiring your kids. Hire your kids. It's a tax write-off.
Yes.
We talk about that.
And file them taxes.
File your taxes with your business in it. Like, that does not take away your money.
It does.
It actually, it possibly can give you more money because you have more tax deductions. So a lot of people, when I help people with the PPP loan, did not put their business on their taxes. Well, now you can't go and do any of this government stuff because what business? So you've been hiding your business and not paying taxes on your business. You don't want to put yourself in that boat. So file your taxes with your business on it. So we talk about a lot of different tax strategies to keep your money in your pocket. Business plan, we go over that. Business budgeting, which is huge because a lot of us just go spend money that when it come into our account, we go and spend it, whether it be on your personal or back into the business without really thinking about what should I be budgeting for and how much percentage should go here and how many bank accounts I should have. So we talk about that. We talk about marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, all of that different. We talk about that. Of course, passive income, because I want everybody to have at least one. The goal is 2 or 3, at least one passive income, and then multiple streams of income, generational wealth building. I have a lesson on that. How the rich stay rich. I have guest speakers that come in because I know a lot, but I'm not the pro at it. So I bring in the pros to give you what you need to do. Talk about team building, and then everybody gets the Etsy training for free. So that's kind of my portion of it. And then Michelle's portion is...
Right? You be like, what? Like, what in the world? So my portion is, most definitely when you're coming to me, you should have filed your taxes or getting ready to file your taxes. Having an idea of your profit and loss, depending on your state. Sometimes they ask for that. Looks like lately they've been asking for that information more and more. So we go through the checklist of what you need to get certified. Then we actually take 8 hours. Okay, this is a 6 to 8 hour day that we're sitting in front of the computer filling out the application. I am not telling you, we are working through it line by line, because my goal is that after that 8 hours, that you would only need to take maybe about 2 more hours to submit your information and get ready to get certified. I'm very serious about this. This is not like, oh, okay, Michelle, is there a replay for this? It may not be. Okay, it may not be a replay for that 8 hours, because when I say the laws are changing, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most up to date. So I will work with the group to find that day that we go through everything. So that in itself is like I said, 6 to 8 hour day. So we go through the foundational stuff for that 6 hours, and then depending on what state that you're in, then we'll go through the one-offs. During this process that you will get, so I go ahead and I redo your resume. So your resume gets redone, so you get a leadership resume.
Let me just pause that right there, because I've been an entrepreneur for forever, pretty much my whole adult life, right? And when I got really serious about it, again, it was like 7 years ago, is when I quit my job. I didn't have a job. And so I've been self-employed for 7 years. So thinking about having a resume was just not on my thing, because what I need a resume for. And Michelle helped me with my resume, and I was like, whoa. Like, I do all of that.
Yes,
looking at my resume, I was like, I would hire me as the CEO, right? So really having that resume, regardless if you have a 9 to 5 where you're 100% self-employed, it's important to have that resume to highlight all your great things. And I never looked at myself like that until I had that resume that she put together and helped with. It was a game changer for me, even at looking at myself differently and appreciating what I do for my own business. Because I was just doing it, but I didn't stop to realize I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So
she is the boss lady, y'all. Okay. So so it's like the resume. You need your resume. Of course, like I said, we talk about taxes, capability statement. We walk through so you can begin to create your capability statement. We talk about LinkedIn. And so this will be the first class that I am going to really walk through more of. I'm putting in more information into this because I want you to win. I want you to win. So we will walk through that capability statement. We will truly walk through the LinkedIn, your professional LinkedIn and your business LinkedIn. And I will use somebody as an example. So if you have your stuff up to date and I need it, then I'll use you as an example. Guess what? You get your stuff done. I will do it because you will be the example and I'll do it for you. Okay. We will also talk about so there's a capability statement that you need to have for the government, and you need to have a capability statement for corporate. Okay, that one takes a little longer. We'll have a conversation about that too. We'll have a conversation. We'll take a look at contracts. What is needed in a contract? The importance of relationships with government entities. Your next steps of, okay, I got this certification. What's the next certification that I should have? The importance of collaboration. How do I do a teaming capability statement? So we're going to talk about that. And so I realized that the more that you ladies have gotten serious about collaboration, because we've been talking about collaboration, we talk about mindset, that I want to give you more. And so what more comes with more pricing. And so, right now somebody asked, what is the price of the mentorship? The mentorship right now, if you paid it in full today, is $10,000. We do offer funding. We do offer payment plans. And with the funding and payment plans, that's more. because we're using funding, and so we're charged a fee, you're charged a fee. And then the same with the payment plans. But I have to say that if you don't pay this year, next year it's going up to $15,000, because next year there is more that's happening, that we will begin, for my segment, is that I will begin to work with different individuals within our group, that we're going to pull a contract and we're going to be on that contract together. Okay, I want us to win.
I just want to say that's huge, because I don't know if you guys ever looked at a government contract that you got a bid on. That is not something that's just like, oh, okay, it is confusing. So being able to walk through that and have the expert there helping you determine, what does this say? Even though it says it, what does that mean? What does this mean? What do I have to go and give to? Because those $1 million contracts, you want to make sure that you have everything that they're asking for given to them the right way, so that you can stand out and be awarded that bid.
Absolutely. Because it's time for us to win. It's just like, if it doesn't go to us, then it goes to somebody else who don't look like us. Okay. And there are exceptions that are put into the contracts, and they're counting on it. And it's time for them to stop counting on it. And it's time for us to go ahead and move to that next level.
So the mentorship is 3 months long. Sometimes we will go over because we love to pour. The ladies that I'm working with now, I think we were supposed to be done maybe a month or two ago. I'm still working with them because I want to see them succeed. I'm working with 3 of them, like personally, like, okay, let's make sure you this. And there are also one-on-one meetings for me. I believe you get 4 one-on-one meetings. And it's like, okay, let's review your website. And I'm auditing your website. I'm auditing different things. Okay, you want to have an ebook? Okay, here's a deadline. This is what you need to do. Make sure you go look at this, do your research, et cetera, et cetera. So even though it says 3 months, sometimes we do go over, just because we want to make sure you get what you need. And we want to see you successful. And I also do want to point out, the title of the mentorship is Roadmap to 6 Figures in 6 months. So it is a roadmap. It's not saying in 6 months that you start the actual training, you're going to hit 6 figures. It's a roadmap. So everything that we give you, when implemented and you actually start, you can get that 6 months, 6 figures in 6 months.
Absolutely. And anyone who has been a part of my program, that does not, because we're talking about getting new mentees into the membership or mentorship, I'm sorry, that anyone who's ever been a part of it, like Dana and Tashanta, and
I saw Michelle on here too.
And Michelle, like, when it's time for us to collaborate on that contract, you guys are in. So don't think like, oh my God, no, you're not missing out. You guys are a part of this because we need you. I need you, you need me. And so, yeah, so when y'all see it, like, let's have that conversation. We're about to strategize. It's time for us to strategize. So y'all are a part of that, which is great. You're part of it, and you didn't have to pay the extra cost.
Yeah. And it's just like with Faith Figures, right? Because we started last year, and we paid our price, which was $22,000. And then this year, coming in as legacy advisors, we're still pouring in, like, we're helping, and it's $32,000, or this year was $32,000, and now next year is actually $40,000. But we're like grandfathered in. It's the ecosystem. It's we want to pour into people too, just like Lola pours into us. So there is a consult fee though, right, to see what you need. And I understand. I don't know.
I do consultations. That's outside of the mentorship, and right here's why we're talking right now about the mentorship. We're letting you guys everything that we need, and if you're starting at the beginning, or everything that we're going to give, I'm sorry, not everything that we need, that if you're like, okay, I'm starting at the beginning, that's okay. If you know that we have what you need, then let us help you build that up. Okay, that's part of the mentorship. If you need a separate consultation, that's a completely different fee. So hopefully that answered your question.
Or if you're asking if we do a consultation to see if you need the mentorship program, if that's what you're asking, I do a 15-minute free consultation just to go over what we do, but it's not the type of meeting that I look at your business and kind of dissect it and say, you need this, 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 this. It's just pretty much exactly what we just did here for an hour. So you probably wouldn't even need the consultation. This replay will stay up. So if you missed the first part, but we go over everything that's inside the mentorship. And yes, it is all online. So my portion of it is on Teachable, where there are lessons, like literally things that you would have to print out. And like, I do 5-minute videos going over different things. And then we meet every other week to just go over what the last lessons were. If you have any questions, sometimes I'll do like an audit live in the Q&A, and then you have the one-on-ones inside the mentorship too, where some of the one-on-ones, it's like, okay, help me with this, or I have this question specifically, or I'm having trouble with my marketing, or, you know, things like that. So there is a one-on-one on my piece aspect of it, and also the group sessions. And then you can see.
Yeah, and so for mine's is all group. If you're looking for something more so one-on-one, you know, you can reach out to me via text. Well, not text, not my phone, but text during through Facebook or through LinkedIn.
That's the DM.
Yeah, the DM. See, I know that. Look, y'all. I'm like, what? She was like, what are you saying? So like Dana reached out to me through the DM. See, I got it right. She was like, Michelle, can you take a look at my capability statement? What do I need? I'm like, you need right? That's fine. Or you could wait until, because all my sessions are live. All my sessions are live. And so we start off with the hours. Sometimes they go 2 hours. Because I want to answer your questions. So I'm very open to that, because I know government certifications can seem kind of scary, and I demystify that. And because I want you guys to win. And so you don't have as much access to me as in like throughout the weeks, but when I'm on, we're on. And so I do reach out and say, okay, we're about to do a live at this time. Let me know you guys' availability. And we go in, so bring whatever you have. Now, we do have subjects that we talk about. So I do have an agenda. We're just not rambling on. We do have subjects that we talk about. The biggest thing is, once we do that 6 to 8 hour workshop, I meet with you guys again a week later to see what issues that you may have. And say, what's going on? Like, okay, Michelle, I can't get this piece. I can't get this piece. What do I need to do? And so we're talking through it. And the ladies are the group, because we can have men and women during this mentorship.
It's the only time I'm doing men in this mentorship. It's the only time.
Right, because we're doing it together.
Yes.
And we're very serious. This is, and I have to say this, and I know you guys already know, this is not the hookup spot. You know, we want everybody to win. We don't want any feelings to be like, whatever it is. And it helps. It's online. So, hey, that's all helpful. And so with that, it's all about winning. And so, like I said, most of my information is, or most of my sessions, it is group sessions. Now, if you want to stay after everybody drop off for another 15 minutes to have a conversation with me, I'm open to that. That's not extra. For me, my consultations, you have to pay for my consultations, anything beyond that. You know, if you need an audit, like somebody had asked about it, if you need Maria and I to audit your information, that is a Zoom audit, and that is our audit, and that pricing is $1,400 for us to come on and take a look at your information from start to finish. So that's something completely separate.
Yep. Let's see. So if you guys want to do the mentorship, we actually opened up a few more seats. So we have 10 more seats because it actually was going down. We just got, I don't know if I told you, we got one person who just got funded. So we have 10 more seats. So if you are interested in doing this mentorship, we officially start in January, but that does not mean that from now into January, we're just silent. We can start, there's a form that I have people fill out with giving the information about your business, like your social media accounts, and we start to learn about your business. So we do some pre-work before it actually launches and starts in January. So just message either myself or Michelle, and we can start a conversation. Like she said, it is either a one-time payment of 10,000, or if you want to do funding, is 10,700, or there is also a payment plan option for the program as well. So
Absolutely.
are there any more? We could probably take 2 more questions, just because I gotta go get my kids from school.
Hilarious. And like you said, even though the official program starts in January, like you said, there's pre-work. Once you go ahead and you sign up, and either, like I said, either through Maria or myself, it's the same program, we get your resume up and going. You can use that resume for anything. We need you to use that resume for anything. You don't have to wait until the LinkedIn session that we have. Start uploading your information. You'd be like, okay, Michelle, are there a couple things that I need to do? It's not a problem for me to send you a checklist on some things, because I want you, the sooner you get started, the better. And that makes you more ready, if there's such a word, more ready. So when we do the sessions, you're like, okay, I just have to do this. I just have to tweak that. I have to do this. The time is now. We move at the speed that you move. And if you're moving fast, and I'll respond. I have no problem in responding, because again, I want you to win, because I can't do what you do. I can't get the money that you get. And that's not my purpose. I need you to go get your money so you can take care of your family, so you can take care of your community. And because, like I said, something is coming. Guys, I don't talk this all the time. Like, something is coming. And if we're not in place, then for some of us, it's going to be years before we can recuperate. That's not going to happen to me.
I don't know if you guys have heard, because this is being said, there is a huge generational wealth transfer going on right now. So plugging into this mentorship is really helping you build that foundation to be able to receive that wealth transfer. Because if you don't have a solid foundation and you get, let's say, $100,000 or $1 million,
$100 million,
right? It's gonna be worse. It's gonna be a worse situation for you because you do not have a solid foundation. So, somebody said, "What's the payment plan?" It's monthly payments, but I did not say the price specifically because I don't remember numbers.
I think it's either $27.50 or $29.50.
Inbox us. Inbox us for the real, because I don't remember the numbers for the payment plan. I just remember either the one-time payment or the funding. And speaking of funding, public service announcement. What do you need to have to be able to get funding?
That's good.
You need minimum a 620 credit score around the board, right? 620 credit score. You need to at minimum make $35,000 a year. And if you actually are self-employed, it's a little different, and we can talk about that. But it's $35,000 a year. You need to have filed your taxes for this year and last year. Okay. And then you need to be able to verify your income. If you cannot verify your income, you'll get approved, make it all the way to the end, and then they will deny you because you cannot verify that income. So this is a third party place that we use. These are not our stipulations. These are their stipulations. So you would get funded and also they give you was it 6%? A 6% grace to add to. So you're going to apply for $10,700, but they give you a 6% window to, if you want to add 6% to that, you can, but you cannot go apply for $30,000 or whatever. It has to be the price of the program.
Right.
So again, they do give that little window of going above 6%, but that's it. So Yeah. Any other questions?
No,
Did I forget
that's really good. And I want you guys to be honest. If you're not there at that 620, and is this is a soft pool.
It's a soft pool.
It's a
Yeah.
soft pool. You know, just like, okay, so what payment plans do you have?
Money finds me easily.
Money finds her easily. That was her notification. Me too,
I don't know if y'all heard that, right?
But the thing is, again, we do offer the payment plan. There are some stipulations to that payment plan also. Before you begin to even join me, like with the payment plan, that at least 75% of the money has to be paid. Just yeah.
It says, does your income have to be based solely on your business income or a combination of business and personal? It can be a combination of
As
both
long as you can prove
if
it.
you can prove it. So
Yeah.
if you have a business, the only proof of your income for business is going to be your taxes. So that's why it's important to have filed your taxes, and two, to have your business on your taxes. So that's how you prove your income.
Right.
Period.
They're not taking extensions. They're not doing that. It was, you have to have filed your taxes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it can be a
have to do that
combination,
anyway.
or it can be just personal, meaning your job, whatever. But you have to be able to prove that it's over 35,000. And also, so I do remember one thing. I don't speak too much on numbers because literally, and y'all heard me say this all the time, I don't know why, but my brain just does not like to remember them. So, but I do know that you have to have at least the last 2 years of taxes for business. I don't remember what that amount is per year though that you had to have made.
Oh yeah,
don't
no, I don't
remember
know if they average it out or not or
Yeah.
anything.
But it's always,
Yeah, and that's
Find
and
out.
that's good for the funding, and then for the government, you need to have at least 3 to 5 years of personal taxes. There's only a few exceptions to that. That's if you're a student and you've been on your parents' taxes, or you can still get government certified if you have actually been in prison. So you wouldn't have taxes then. I had some folks who have certified who has been in prison, even with a felony. Y'all be like, a felony? Yes, we talk about that.
so we could take this into the prison.
See, yeah, we absolutely. The only way that you can't get government certified is if you went to prison, or if it's on your criminal record as for fraud. There are no exceptions to that. They will not bring you in. They're like, what? Wait a minute. No. Yeah. So even felons, this is guys, we have no excuses. You know, some of us may have children who have unfortunately been through the system. This is an opportunity for them to create wealth for themselves and for their families. So we have no excuses.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for spending an hour and 25 minutes with us. This will stay up. Like, we're not taking this down. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to either post them on this video, send us a message. If you are ready to get started, we are ready to help you. Again, whether it's the payment plan, the one-time payment, or funding, just let us know and we can get you guys started. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. You enjoy the rest of your day. And if you got kids, go spend time with your kids.
Oh, love them.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.